Hello and welcome to AstroPsych. My name is Ned Dahan and I am your host. In this video I will be responding to 13 signs that she's actually flirting with you by Marni Wing Girl, and then we'll have a response. And because there are 13 of them, I'm going to play 2 4-part increments and 1 5-part increment. Here are the first 4. Let's have a listen.
Is she flirting with me? I can't really tell. Well, you're not alone, because most guys have trouble figuring out when a woman is flirting with them because us women are so freaking subtle. It's very annoying, right? Number 1, subtle glances. Do you ever notice a woman glancing at you out of the corner of her eye? Maybe she even diverts her gaze when she notices you looking back at her. This is a flirting sign. Okay, sign number 2, smiling often. Smiles can be unconscious or even deliberate. Either way, if she's feeling attracted to you, she's going to smile at you. Sign number 3, holding eye contact. So let me put it this way. If a girl isn't interested in you, she's going to avoid eye contact with you. In fact, she might even shift her whole body away from you in that moment. It's a very subtle sign and doesn't always confirm romantic interest, but it's still important to note. Okay, sign number 4, attentive listening. Being a good listener can be an unusual way to flirt with someone, but it's not uncommon for women to take this approach, especially if she's more shy or introverted.
And I want to be clear about something. I've only recently discovered Marni's channel, and her claim is that she can be your personal wing girl. She's giving dating advice out to men. And there is a mixed response that people are having in the comments section. Some people think that she actually gives out good advice, and other people are saying that her advice is terrible. And I am somewhere in the middle. I mean, for example, one person in the comments section said, "You don't ask a fish on how to become a better fisherman." And I wouldn't go to that extreme. I think it's theoretically possible for a woman to give dating advice to a man, but in all seriousness, I have found that female friends in the past give really bad advice about dating and relationships because they don't understand it themselves. It's not just something you can put into a logical sequence. They're definitely not coming from their experiences because they tell stories about how guys were charming around them or guys did this to make them want to be romantically involved with them. But those aren't logical decisions. They're not rational decisions. They were acting with an emotional part of their brain. So it becomes very difficult to try and put into a method, especially when you just have a friend who is telling a story. I also think that male friends give really bad dating advice too. That's why people are using the internet to try and find online communities and relationship coaches, because they want to find someone who is actually using a system that works, as opposed to just telling a bunch of stories that are only halfway connected to the dating process in the first place. As a case in point, though, let's look at the first 4 things here on Marni's list. Subtle glances is the number 1 issue. That has nothing to do with flirting at all. Just because someone is looking at you, that doesn't mean that she is flirting. Maybe you have snot that is dripping down your face. There could be countless reasons why someone is going to be making a subtle glance, and you might be thinking, all right, let's provide the value of context. She's definitely referring to a warm and receptive subtle glance. That also means nothing. It has no connection to stimulation or sexual arousal. Number 2, smiling. If the girl is smiling at you, is she flirting at you? No. Is she flirting with you? No, she's not. Because this is a very similar issue. Some people do that in ways that are non-romantic. Sometimes people think that smiling can be a form of politeness, like they walk into work and they're just bright and smiling to everyone. Oh, hello, good morning. And they're talking that way to countless people. And even if she's more warm and receptive to you, that does not mean that she is flirting with you. Again, she might just be doing that to be polite. And I really think that this entire list does not account for differences in personality or variances in personality traits across the spectrum. Number 3, holding eye contact. Here I have a different response. I absolutely disagree with this one as well. I mean, the whole point of this list is to show how and why people are flirting. Is she actually flirting with you, or is she just talking to you? Holding eye contact. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a conversation with someone when they've been holding eye contact with me and they don't actually show any interest in what I'm saying. Again, they're just doing it because they're trying not to be rude, or the mere fact that they're acknowledging my presence. And that's exactly what this is in relation to dating. Just because someone is acknowledging that you exist as a human being does not mean that they want anything to do with you romantically. This is also not an indication of anything related to flirting. And number 4 was attentive listening. I have to say the same thing. I really think these 4 points can all just be lumped into one. People are trying to be polite. People have different types of personalities, and some people are more receptive to listening. Some people are good listeners, some people are bright and smiley, and they do this for everybody. It does not mean that they are flirting with you. They even do this to people of the same sex. Like, and there can be women out there that also act that way around women. That's just their personality. I disagree with all of these. Let's play the next clip.
Sign number 5, physical contact. So does she initiate touch with you? Maybe she always wants to hug when you greet each other, or she puts her hand on your arm or leg when you talk. Perhaps she playfully hits you on your shoulder when you tease her. If she's getting handsy, it's a sign she's flirting. Number 6, playing with her hair, which I always do and everybody comments on. Sometimes, despite herself, her actions will betray that she is flirting with you. That's why it's vital to keep an eye out for the physical signs a woman is interested in you. So among these, the tendency to play with her hair stands. Number 7, knees and toes pointing at you. You have to learn to read the body language of a flirting woman to understand her true intent. So women speak with their bodies and gestures as much as they do with their words and actions. So one of the telltale flirting signs from a woman that most guys totally miss out on is the way she sits or stands. Sign number 8, leaning in towards you. This is a small but clear sign of interest and potential flirting. So do you find her leaning in your direction while making conversation? Perhaps with her chin resting on the palm of her hand, her back arched forward, or her eyes looking into yours? If so, she's flirting.
I hope you don't think that I'm being sour and bitter from the last segment that I played. So I'm actually going to say some positive things in here. But first I would like to remind you that if you want to hear more videos like this, you can hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And also visit some of the links in the description box. Number 5, physical contact. I do have to also say that physical contact has no relevance or connection to flirting. And some people are touchy and feely, and they're not trying to flirt with you. They're not trying to instigate any type of romantic involvement with you. Again, they're just doing it because they think that they're being friendly, or they think that they are just being warm and polite, or it's just their way of expressing themselves. And Marni even says this in one point of the video, that it is a love language. Some people use touch to express themselves, and it doesn't have to be purely romantic. I mean, again, sometimes there is a girl who just likes to give hugs to people, and she doesn't quite know that she is pushing the envelope with certain men, but just that's her personality. That's the way that she acts. Number 6, playing with her hair. This I actually do think is a good sign that she is flirting with you. Body language experts talk about this all the time. Even if a girl is standing by herself and she's looking off into the distance and she starts playing with her hair, she might even be thinking about a man whom she is romantically involved with. I do agree with this one, playing with her hair. That's a good one. Number 7, knees and toes pointing toward you. Yeah, I agree with this as well. That's showing that she's making a little bit more of an effort to get direct with you. Now, this could be accounted for by personality, but I think that this goes well beyond just physical contact, well beyond just breaking the touch barrier, well beyond just looking at you. If she's actually making the effort to turn towards you, I think that that is a good point. And number 8, though, I have to take a step back and say, leaning in towards you? Absolutely not. I mean, some people are just close talkers. Have you ever experienced that? They have an episode of Seinfeld about this, about how some people are close talkers. Some people just get uncomfortably close to you when you're talking or they're talking. Some people really don't have that awareness of intimate space versus personal space versus public space. It has absolutely no correlation to flirting at all. So 2 of these points, I actually think there are some strong pieces of advice here. Playing with the hair and knees and toes pointing at you. Let's play the next clip.
Number 9, compliments. Did she mention how good that shirt looks on you? Or maybe she texted something like, "You're really smart, so maybe you can help me with this." If so, these compliments are signs that she's flirting. play. Sign number 10. This is a huge one. It's teasing. As she starts to feel more comfortable with you, she might flirt by teasing you, bantering with you. This can include poking fun about something you said or did, challenging you in some way, or even playfully hitting you on your arm. All of these actions are her way of getting and holding your attention. Sign number 11, the interview. If she's interested in you, she's going to ask you questions about yourself. Where are you from? How old are you? What do you do for a living? She's asking you questions because she wants the full picture. She wants to get to know you. She doesn't want to find out how much is in your bank account. She just wants to find out more. Sign number 12, trying to impress. Whether it is showing off her skills at something you're interested in, or mentioning her personal and professional achievements, or making attempts at justifying why she's so great, unless she is known to be a boastful person to everybody. This kind of effort to impress you or seek your validation is a clear sign of flirting. And number 13. Okay, she makes herself available to you. This is the biggest sign of all. So think of it this way, right? If you really liked a girl, would you say yes to spending time with her if she asked you to? Of course you would, because you want to spend time with her. Women are no different. If she is attracted to you, she will make herself available to you.
For number 9 here, compliments. I'm going to share something with you that perhaps should be an entire video on its own. Somebody once told me that she either likes you or she doesn't. Okay, maybe there's a third category. Maybe she likes you about 10%. And I do mean that. That's exactly the way that I heard it. I think I'm almost remembering it verbatim. She either likes you or she doesn't, or maybe she likes you about 10%. And I think that compliments would fall into the category of she either likes you or she likes you about 10%. I mean, sometimes women will say, "Oh, hey, yeah, you look good in that shirt. Oh, that's a nice change for you." And it doesn't immediately mean that she is flirting with you. Again, the purpose of this video is she trying to flirt with you or not? And I mean, sometimes she can just be giving a compliment because she's trying to be like Marni Wing Girl. Sometimes women who aren't interested in you romantically will give you compliments because they're trying to be your wing girl. They're trying to help you get into a relationship with somebody else. But I think that a lot of those women end up in the 10% category, not all, but some of them, where they have a little bit of romantic interest, and under certain conditions, they would be romantically involved with you under very, very specific situations and circumstances, if the tingles were just right, so to speak. So I think that compliments could either be that she is into you, or that there's a very, very small window. It doesn't mean that she is directly flirting with you, or that, oh, I want this guy to be my boyfriend because I told him he looks nice in that shirt. That type of thinking should just go away. And I think that's what Marnie's trying to convey in the video, that if a girl makes a compliment about your physical appearance or your ideas or anything about you, that she wants to date you, no, that's not what's happening. But maybe under certain circumstances, you might be past the threshold of acceptance. Number 10 on the list is teasing. I think this is actually a pretty good point. If she's doing any type of teasing or anything, most likely she's trying to create some type of fun energy around you. I think she could be romantically interested. I agree with this one. And then number 11 is called, well, the interview. Or if she's interested in you, she's going to ask you questions about yourself. No, not quite. I mean, sometimes people just do that as a courtesy. Sometimes people do that because they want to demonstrate that they aren't hogging the conversation or they aren't making it all about themselves. So, no, I don't think that has anything to do with flirting. And number 12, trying to impress. Finally, finally, we're getting somewhere where Marnie actually admits that some people are just boastful. Some people are just like that. You could really find that for about 7 or 8 points on this list, that some people are just boastful. Some people are just like that. They just have personalities that lead them to do these types of behaviors, and they're not trying to get anything more out of you. I mean, sometimes people are just trying to talk about themselves because they want to show off. And yes, women do this too. I'm just thinking of countless people that are coming to mind right now who try to show off about all of the things that they do. It can be the interesting things, oh, I just got a master's degree, or it can be the boring things like, oh, well, I just took a practice test for a physics class and I got 100% on it. I was like, well, is there a reason why you're telling me this? Sometimes People try to impress you simply because they like talking about themselves, male or female. That has nothing to do with flirting. And the last one, she makes herself available. Oh yes, I think that this is a good example of someone who is trying to flirt when, you ask her, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" "Oh, I have no plans." I think that that's fair and reasonable. So as you see, I don't disagree with everything on the list. I don't hate everything that she said, but I'm also not in agreement with everything. And one big point is just that sometimes people will try to give dating advice and they aren't able to do so because they don't understand what they're saying. They don't understand how they had the experiences in the past. There are these things called hormones. They were just following them. It's very difficult to try to teach people how to do that. So, what do you think about the points on Marnie's list? Do you agree or disagree with any of them? Do you agree or disagree with my comments? Would love to know what you guys think. And as I said, you can go through some of the links in the description box. In addition to liking and subscribing, you can support this channel at buymeacoffee.com/blackboxnit88. And thank you for tuning in to Astro Psych. Until next time.